Head of Public Service Joseph Kinyua has intensified financial scrutiny over the outgoing cabinet secretaries as President Uhuru Kenyatta continues to craft his second cabinet. The move is part of the transitional measures adopted following the president swearing in. And as our political affairs reporter Murimi Mwangi now tells us, the president will tomorrow meet the speakers of both the Senate and the National Assembly over the adjustment of Parliament's calendar to allow for a likely vetting of new cabinet nominees before the end of the year.
As President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto continue crafting their second cabinet with a high number of serving cabinet secretaries set to face the axe, the outgoing cabinet will have to seek clearance from the head of public service, Joseph Kinyua, before making any fresh commitments pending restructure of the cabinet. In the letter wired to cabinet secretaries and copied to all their respective principal secretaries on Friday last week, the CSs are also required to prepare comprehensive reports detailing their general performance against their targets since the year 2013 and to give a percentage utilization of each budgetary allocation and a summary of their planned activities for the remainder of the current financial year. This as Treasury began hosting key cabinet secretaries for consultative meetings to streamline ministries' budgets to the president's development priorities in his second term.
This is going to be a continuation of his agenda, and it's more critical because this is a term where now he wants to leave a legacy.
And he will be banking on members of his administration to help him deliver on his promises.
As president, I will play my role as constitutionally defined, and I expect other arms of government to do the same. My administration will move to create 500,000 new homeowners. My administration will focus on attracting from both public and private sectors the injection of patient, low-cost capital.
But President Kenyatta's second cabinet may not be subjected to the thorough grilling of yesteryears after the opposition reiterated its defiance not to send any members to the National Assembly Committee on Appointments, which is mandated to vet cabinet nominees. Pursuant to Parliament Standing Order 204, the committee, to be chaired by National Assembly Speaker, also comprises his deputy, leaders of majority and minority in the National Assembly, their respective deputies, and not more than 22 other legislators, nominated on basis of party strength in Parliament. The looming absence of NASA legislators from the committee already casting doubts on the effectiveness of the vetting, even as Jubilee prepares to name its members to the committee on Thursday.
If the quorum is attained, then there will not be any illegality. They can actually proceed and do that. But the question is that how acceptable will these particular leaders be? They'll be considered to have been rubber-stamped from one institution. Going by the history we have had in our members of parliament.
As far as we are concerned, that committee is not necessary. How? Because the office that is supposed to appoint the cabinet secretaries is vacant as we speak.
Parliament has a clear role under Article 95 of the Constitution. So if the minority party will not present the names of their members, it's actually they are absconding their duties. Because that's what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to represent their people here.
The president has to submit a list of his nominees to Parliament to allow the National Assembly Speaker to communicate the names to the House before forwarding the list to the Committee on Appointments. The committee subsequently picks a date and a venue for the interviews, giving a window of 7 days for the public participation through written memoranda. Parliament is scheduled to break for recess on Thursday, as the president meets the two speakers and the House leadership on Tuesday for a likely adjustment of the date to allow likely vetting of the cabinet nominees before the end of the year. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.